Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Ora Hari Bol, Ora Hari Bol, Hari श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Hare Krishna. Today morning we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 2, chapter entitled Divinity and Divine Service, text number 3. Yah sanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam, adhyatma deepamatitir shatam tamandha, samsarinam karunaya yaha purana guiham, tam vyasa sunupayami gurum munina, yaha svanubhavam akhila shruti sarameka, adhyatma deepamatitir shatam tamandha, samsarinam karunaya purana guiha, tam vyasa sunumupayami gurum munina, yah svanubhavam akhila shruti sarameka, adhyatma deepamatitir shatam tamandha, samsarinam karunaya purana guiha, tam vyasa sunumupayami gurum munina. Please recite.
Yasvanubhavam akhila shruti sarameka, Atmadivamatitir shatam tamandha, samsarinam karunaya purana guhya, Payami Guru स्वानुभावम् अखिलशक्तिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपम् अतिथिभिर्सतां तमोऽन्धम्
अध्यात्मदीपमतिथिरसतां तमन्धाम्
संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम्
संसारिणां करुणया पुराणगुह्यम्
तं व्यासोपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
अव्यासोनुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम् अज्ञानदीपमतितीर्षतां तमन्धाम् संसारिणां करुणया पुराणगुह्यम् तं व्यासोनुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्. Word meaning, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Yaha he who Svanubhava self-assimilated, experienced, Akhila all around, Shruti the Vedas, Saram cream, Ekam the only one, Adhyatma transcendental, Deepam torchlight, Atitir Shatam desiring to overcome, Tamo Andham deeply dark material existence, Shangsharina of the materialistic men, Korunaya out of causeless mercy, Aha said, Purana supplement to the Vedas, Guiham very confidential, Tam unto him, Vyasa Sonum the son of Vyasadeva, Upayami let me offer my obeisances, Gurum the spiritual master, Muninam of the great sages. Translation: Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all the sages, the son of Vyasadev, who out of great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. Purport: In this prayer, Srila Suta Goswami practically summarizes the complete introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Vedanta Sutras or Brahma Sutras were compiled by Vyasadeva with a view to presenting just the cream of Vedic knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural commentary on this cream. Srila Sukdev Goswami was a thoroughly realized master on the Vedanta Sutra, and consequently he also personally realized the commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam. And just to show his boundless mercy upon bewildered materialistic men who want to cross completely over nescience, he recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. There is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. No materialistic creature, be he the great Brahma or an insignificant ant, can be happy. Everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is baffled by the laws of material nature. Therefore, the materialistic world is called the darkest region of God's creation. Yet the unhappy materialist can get out of it simply by desiring to get out. Unfortunately, they are so foolish that they do not want to escape. Therefore, they are compared to the camel who relishes thorny twigs because he likes the taste of twigs mixed with blood. He does not realize that it is his own blood and that his tongue is being cut by the thorns. Similarly to the materialist, his own blood is as sweet as honey, and although he's always harassed by his own material creation, he does not wish to escape. Such materialists are called karmis. Out of hundreds and thousands of karmis, only a few may feel tired of material engagement and desire to get out of the labyrinth. Such intelligent persons are called jnanis. The Vedanta Sutra is directed to such jnanis. But Srila Vyasadeva, being the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, could foresee the misuse of the Vedanta Sutra by unscrupulous men, and therefore he personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with Bhagavad Purana. It is clearly said that this Bhagavatam is the original commentary on the Brahma Sutras. Srila Vyasadeva also instructed the Bhagavatam to his own son, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who was already at the liberated stage of transcendence. Srila Sukdev realized it personally and then explained it. By the mercy of Srila Sukdev, the Bhagavad Vedanta Sutra is available for all those sincere souls who want to get out of material existence. Srimad Bhagavatam is the one unrivaled commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Shripad Shankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he knew that the natural commentary would be difficult for him to surpass. He wrote his Sharirika Bhasya, and his so-called followers deprecated the Bhagavatam as some new presentation. One should not be misled by such propaganda directed against the Bhagavatam by the Mayavad school. From this introductory shloka, the beginning student should know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are Paramhamsas and completely freed from the material disease called malice. The Mayavadis are envious of the personality of Godhead, despite Shripad Shankaracharya's admission that Narayana, the personality of Godhead, is above the material creation. The envious Mayavadi cannot have access to the Bhagavatam, but those who are really anxious to get out of material existence may take shelter of this Bhagavatam because it is uttered by the liberated Srila Sukdev Goswami. It is a transcendental torchlight by which one can see perfectly the transcendental absolute truth realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललितान् श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे पाञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So, this is a beautiful prayer offered by Srila Sutta Goswami for Srila Sukdev Goswami, who is Paramhamsa, and from his very birth he was completely detached from anything which is concerning to material world or material creation. So from his very birth, he started running towards forest. And day before, uh, no, yesterday only we got to see the like Vyasdev was also running behind him, Sukhdev Goswami. I think last week, or like few classes back, we got to hear that Vyasdev was also running behind Sukhdev Goswami, and he was calling out his name. And Sukhdev Goswami just kept on running. He just left home. But then Vyasadeva taught one of his disciples this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Aho Vakiyam Stanakalakutam, that just see how merciful Krishna is, that despite Putana coming to him to give him poison and to kill him, Krishna gave the position of Dhatri, nurse, to this Putana. So, who can give up, who can relinquish his shelter of such a great personality like Krishna? So, when he heard this shloka, Sukdev Goswami was like completely, his heart changed and he wanted to hear more about this shloka and more about this personality. So, Sukdev Goswami, in his pastime, in the aspect of pastime, he acted as an impersonalist and Brahmavadi. But still, Srimad Bhagavatam is so much relishable that even Brahmavadis can relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Like it is mentioned, Atma Ramasya Munaya Nirgrantha Pyurukrame Kurvantu ki Ahituki Bhaktim Itvam Bhutva Gunauhari. That is Atmaram Munis, the one who is satisfied within themselves with their connection with Supreme Lord within their heart. They also feels attracted towards Krishna. And here we can see Sukdev Goswami, how much he was attracted to Krishna. And then he comes back and he hears entire Bhagavatam and he just contained this Bhagavatam within himself and he was like absorbed in relishing Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the reason here Suto Goswami started his prayer to Sukdev Goswami as Yaha, that means this personality. This personality is famous. There are many personalities who are famous, who are special. But here in this case, Sutta Goswami is specially referring to Sukdev Goswami, not even Vyasdev or any other personality, but Sukdev Goswami specifically, because this personality, Sukdev Goswami, is Swanubhavam. He has assimilated the entire experience. He's experienced, he has assimilated or he has absorbed the entire teachings of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He has absorbed it, he has got this teaching, he has contained this teaching within himself, and he is constantly relishing this teaching. Just like when we take food, when we eat substance which is nutritional, that stays within our body, within various parts of our body, and that acts as a constant source of nutrition to us for some period of time. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, stays within the heart of pure devotee, and not for some period of time but for eternally, that supplies nectar to the realized personalities, the great devotees of the Lord, who are self-realized. So he has Swanubhavam, he has self-assimilated. And this self-assimilation needs qualification. Until one is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to spiritual master, to the Vaishnavas. Till that time, that person cannot self-assimilate. Till that time, one cannot assimilate or absorb this teaching. So this is called Dharan Shakti. He was able to hold this teaching. Many times we see that many people hear the teaching, but they cannot hold the teaching. But Sukdev Goswami was holding the teaching. And this is a result of Sukriti, especially the Sukriti of Vaishnava Seva and the blessings of Vaishnavas. Like we many times hear about this great example of Arjun and Karna fighting in the battlefield. Arjun could remember all the weapons, but Karna forgot. And the reason behind this is that Karna got curses. Now, why he got curses? This is very important to understand. The reason is he lied to his spiritual master. And because he lied to his spiritual master, he got these curses that he will forget the weapons, though he is learning all the weapons, but he will forget the weapons. On the contrary, Arjun was able to remember all the weapons, and even though when he was forgetting something, Krishna was there beside him who was reminding him that you use this weapon, you act in this way, you act in that way. Krishna was reminding him. So, this is the result of pleasing the Guru and the Vaishnavas, that Krishna gives us remembrance in our heart, just like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matta Smritir Gyan Apohanam Cha. So, to whom Krishna gives this smriti and gyan? To the one who is in constant association of Vaishnavas and he is favorably disposed to the Vaishnavas. To that personality, Krishna gives smritim and jnanam. But the one who is not favorably disposed to the Vaishnavas, Krishna gives that person apohanam, right? And that is the reason we see so many times it is like often forgotten, and even people are, we see many examples where people are fighting with their own spiritual masters, right? Saying that what has he done, or maybe he's not bona fide or authorized, though he is very much from the bona fide and authorized parampara. And not only that, they even transgress their spiritual masters, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, and they, for their own unfulfilled agendas or for their own hankering of their heart, they just fearlessly commit Vaishnava Pada, right? So for them, Krishna has given apohanam, Krishna has given forgetfulness. So Sukdev Goswami was Swanubhavam because he was holding this experience, being favored by Vyasdev. And not only being favored by Vyasdev, we know that Sukdev Goswami, actually Shuka was a parrot of Srimati Radharani. Shuka was a constant companion of Srimati Radharani. And when the whole Vrindavan Leela ended, then Shuka was very much aggrieved in her heart, and she was like flying here and there. Where is Krishna? Where is Srimati Radharani? Like this, and she was going to every portion of Vrindavan, Govardhan, Gokul, every portion of Vrindavan to search for Srimati Radharani and Krishna. But then she was not able to, get fulfillment of her heart. She was not happy anywhere, and she was like in great distress. But then she heard that Bhagavad recitation is going on, Srimad Bhagavatam is going on. So one might get confused, okay, now Srimad Bhagavatam is starting here, so how come Bhagavatam is going on? So it's not like that. Bhagavatam is eternally going on in different planetary systems within great personalities. They are eternally reciting Bhagavatam. For us, Bhagavatam has got revealed in this particular phase of time. That is the reason we are able to associate with Bhagavatam by serving Bhagavatam, by hearing Bhagavatam, preaching Bhagavatam and all. But just like sun is eternally present, similarly, Bhagavatam is also eternally present. So Shuka heard that Bhagavatam has been recited in Ekamra Van, Ekamra Kanan, that is Bhubaneswar. So there, Shivji is reciting Bhagavatam to Mother Parvati. And there Shuka went to hear Bhagavatam. And there he found that Shivji is telling Parvati. Parvati is asking Shivji that whose name are you chanting always? You are always, it seems like you are chanting in your mala and all. So whose name are you chanting? So then Shivji said, I can tell you, provided you do not fall asleep. So then Parvati said, no, I will not fall asleep. But then Shivji said, you have to guarantee me constantly by saying like this, right? So Shuka also heard this, that okay, if the stops, then Bhagavatam will also stop. So Shivji started speaking Bhagavatam, and after some time, Parvati falls asleep. So now Shuka was alarmed. No, so Shuka had, like all the parrots, we can see they have the tendency to imitate voice. So Shuka is a transcendental parrot, so she can do much more. So Shuka immediately copied the voice of Mother Parvati, and she started doing that voice. And then Shivji kept on talking, kept on speaking. And Shuka was sitting on this one of the branch of this transcendental mango tree, Ekamra Van and Ekamra Kanan, the forest of mango tree, but one mango tree is there which is completely surrounding this forest. That is Bhuvaneshwar. So after some time, Mother Parvati woke up and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I fell asleep and I missed significant part of your narration." So then Shivji said, then that is okay, but who was doing this? Like this. Then Shivji discovered this parrot Shuka and he was angry. He said, if somebody hears this Bhagavatam, they will become immortal. So then Shivji started following this Shuka. And the Shuka started flying. And from Ekamravan, the Shuka came to Badrik Ashram, where Vyasdev was also reciting Bhagavatam to his wife. So here we can see the very beautiful ideal ashram life. Like for Grihasthas, they are reciting Bhagavatam. For Brahmacharis, they are hearing Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is for all. And here, the wife of Vyasdev was so absorbed in hearing Bhagavatam that she was hearing Bhagavatam with her mouth opened and in astonishment and amazement. And here Shuka was flying, and Shivji was with his trident, he was following Shuka. Sorry. So then Shuka came flying and she entered into the mouth of this wife of Vyasdev because her mouth was opened. And then Shivji with his trident, he came running behind him like the Shuka. And the Vyasadeva asked, what happened? Then Shivji said, no, there is a bird, Shuka, who has heard Bhagavatam, unauthorizedly. So now I will kill him. Why he has done like this? So then Vyasadeva said, you only have blessed Bhagavatam's hearers. Then one who will hear Bhagavatam nicely, you will become immortal. So now this bird is immortal. You cannot do any harm to him, this bird. So then this bird, Shuka, appeared as Shukdev Goswami, who is originally the parrot of Srimati Radharani. And that too who has pleased Vyasdev, that too has pleased many Vaishnavas with her sweet sound. So that is the reason she is holding this great understanding. Swa Anubhavam Akhila Shruti Sara Mekam. And because he is realized, he could speak the essence, right? Realization means speaking the essence, not the details. Of course, the details has to be spoken at times, but ultimately, when the details are not connected to the essence, then it is just like it is just like some entertainment kind of thing. Like the way we hear many speakers, Bhagavatam reciters, so called one who is like professional reciters, as told by Srila Prabhupada. They speak many details here, there, so many details they speak. But then, and thousands of people attend their classes, attend their Bhagavad Katha, but so less gets transformed, right? But here we could see Srila Prabhupada going to Western countries and throughout the whole world. And whomever he was speaking, even one, two devotees, they were changing, they were becoming amazing devotees, and they were again preaching to others. Like it is like great turnout because the content is completely pure. Because there is essence and the details, whatever details are there, that is also connected to the essence. Sometimes we get so much caught up in the details that we are just stuck with the details. Like today morning, we were hearing this amazing purport in Bhagavad recitation that Prabhupada wrote in Hindi. We are hearing that people sometimes say, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, वैसा क्यों हो रहा है, why is this happening, why is that happening, why not this, why not that. But they forget the details. And the shloka, Prabhupada is mentioning in the shloka, it is mentioned as per time, place, and circumstances. So, as per time, place, and circumstances, Srila Prabhupada did so much, and whatever he did was so fruitful. It was not fruitless, it was fruitful. Because whatever he did, that was giving Krishna consciousness to others, and others were transforming. That means his process was absolutely perfect, his process was genuine, right? So, when many things are done, many endeavors are taken, but those endeavors do not fructify, then we can understand that the endeavors are fruitless, or they are like, they are lacking something. But here we can see Srila Prabhupada's endeavors was so fruitful. Krishna Shakti Vinatar Nohe Proborton. Prabhupada did so much that all his endeavors were turning out to be so amazing. Though there were some immediate setbacks, but his process was perfect. And with the same process, he was, with the same process, he was bringing results, and he was offering those results to his guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We were hearing few days back I think Srivasha Prabhu was telling that in the Western, no, we were hearing from one somebody's lecture, Radhesham Prabhu's lecture. Yes, Radhesham Prabhu was telling that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur sent many of his stalwart disciples, and he booked a first class cabin for them in a premium ship. And we can see the photo of the cabin and all the luxurious details that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur provided for them in Bagbazar Gauriya Math. They have a museum where they have even placed the photo of that first class cabin and the disciples whom Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was sending. And before sending them, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was giving them language teachings as well. That he will go to Germany. So German, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur arranged for German language for that sannyasi. Or he will go here, he will go there. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was doing everything, and they all went in Western countries, and they could ultimately preach to one old lady. Only one old lady became their disciple. And that was their preaching. And when they came back, they said to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur that no, this Guru Maharaj, this is not acting in Western countries. And Prabhupada later referred that when Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur heard this, he was like very much upset, aggrieved in his heart that his disciples are rejecting what he has given. But then we can see Srila Prabhupada sends three couples, Shamsundar Prabhu, Malati Mataji, then Gurudas Prabhu, Yamuna Mataji, and Mukunda Maharaj and Janaki Mataji. That time Mukunda Prabhu, he was like a householder. So this three couple, they goes over there and they do not have any money, very less money they had. Even to enter London, the money that was needed, that was not with them. So what they did, they took a cheap flight till this place, Holland, and there they landed, and now they just accumulated their money and gave to one couple. So they entered England, and from there they sent the money back to them. So now another couple entered, and they again send this money back. So another set of couple entered. So in this way they entered. And that too, Shyam Sundar Prabhu and Malti Mataji had their daughter, a small girl, Saraswati. She was like hardly, very small, like I think 1 or 2 years or not even that. And they did not have any place to stay. So Radhesham Prabhu was telling that they were staying in some big pipes, iron pipes, which were about to be placed within the ground as a tunnel, and they were staying within them. They were staying very nicely within them, and from there only they were managing their sadhana, and they were preaching, and slowly they could preach, they could attract little masses. They started preaching, and strikingly, Radhesham Prabhu, when he said this, I was amazed. They preached in such a way that three devotees joined as brahmachari also with them. So that was like something like I could not comprehend at least. And then they've got to meet with George Harrison, and then big program was organized, and then the whole news came in London Times, and the news was the Hare Krishna startles London. That was the news, and Prabhupada was so happy reading that. Prabhupada said, these three young couples, just 5-6 months old in Krishna consciousness, what they could do, even my great sannyasi, stalwart God brothers could not do. So this is the potency of Krishna consciousness. This is the potency of what my Guru Maharaj gave, and the formula given by my Guru Maharaj is absolutely perfect. There is no problem in that. So in that way, essence, Sukdev Goswami was speaking, Sukdev Goswami spoke the essence, and this is what Sutta Goswami is glorifying, that he is giving the essence. And because he is giving the essence, that is the reason his knowledge was illuminating. Actually, this material world is dark. There is complete darkness. Even though there are lot of lights, there are floodlights. Even my Guru Maharaj was speaking that there is a place in America, this Las Vegas, where this gambling, that whole city is based on gambling. So they have so much of artificial lights over there that it is difficult to understand that whether it is day or night. But in that huge amount of light, also there is darkness of heart, darkness of understanding. But the essential factors the cream of Vedic understanding, what Sukdev Goswami was giving, that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. This is so illuminating that it is acting as a torchlight for those who are desirous of coming out from this material world. Now, this is very important. Prabhupada wrote in the purport that materialistic people are not even happy, but the problem is not this. The problem is bigger. The problem is that they do not understand that they are happy. Can somebody look into that vessel? Birds are. So this is a bigger problem, that they do not understand that they are unhappy, or this materialistic endeavor is only the reason of their unhappiness. They do not detect that. But then Prabhupada wrote, the moment they have a desire to come out of this, they will be able to come out. So Sutta Goswami is mentioning that what my Gurudev Sukdev Goswami gave, with that, one will be able to overcome this tama andham, this dark material world. And O sages of Naimisharanya, you all are desirous of that. That is the reason this will act upon you. Right? This will act upon you. Just like there are certain medicines, to hold that medicine, one needs to have some bodily strength. Like unless and until that bodily strength is there, even if that medicine is given, that medicine will act as poison. Just like we hear that special medicine Makaradhwaj, what Prabhupada wanted to have in his last days, but then Prabhupada was lacking the bodily strength to hold Makaradhwaj. Of course, it's a pastime, entire pastime, but still as a detail. So this Makaradhwaj later acted as poison for Srila Prabhupada. So here Sukdev Goswami, Sutta Goswami is saying that, oh sages of Naimisharanya, you all are interested to hear about, you all are interested to come out of this material world. That is the reason this knowledge, what my spiritual master spoke, will act upon you. And not only you, through all of you, this will act on samsarinam, all this people of this world. And out of his great mercy, Karunaya, Aha Purana, Guiham, he has spoken this great transcendental knowledge, which is not easily, obtainable, which is usually very, very hidden. Like as Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, so many people they know about Srimad Bhagavatam. So many people they outrightly reject Srimad Bhagavatam. As mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in the introduction, they said, who has written this Bhagavatam? Maybe Vyasdev or some other commentator. Later, many verses are added. In this way, they are like into endless confusion. So in this way, people reject Bhagavatam. And what to speak of Mayavadi scholars? They are like this Gyanis. They even though they're speaking Bhagavatam, but they do not speak about bhakti. Just like Advaita Acharya and Srivas Thakur, they were very much pained to see in the heart that so many scholars they are speaking from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, but they are not speaking about bhakti. They are not speaking about Krishna's holy name. They are not speaking about devotional service. So this is like guhyam. This is like hidden. So many people reject Bhagavatam, saying that it is Puranas. Puranas are inferior. You speak from Upanishad, you speak from Vedas. So in this way they speak. But this is their misfortune. So unfortunate they are that they are rejecting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is directly the manifestation of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tam Vyasa Sonum, that Sutta Goswami is mentioning that my spiritual master is actually the real son of Vyasadeva, because he is not only the seminal son of Vyasadeva, a biological son of Vyasadeva, but he is also the spiritual son of Vyasadeva. Right? Few days back, one of my relative asked question that why all of your names are changed after initiation. This name is so important that your parents have given. So who can be better than parents? She was asking this question. And then when I was explaining her that this is a spiritual name, this is a second birth and everything. But then she was mentioning that okay, even if the parents do not give you a physical body, then how will you practice devotional service? So then I had to tell her that yes, they are giving a physical body, but this is a whole system. Like so many men and women, they get together, they get married, but they are not able to beget a children. Why? Because It is ultimately Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause. And similarly, like Prahlad Maharaj also says, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is the only cause of protection and maintenance. Otherwise, even children die in the lap of their parents, right? Like we can see few days back when like I think Iran has sent a whole list of condemnation, the the bharpai, the amount of loss they incurred due to this war, they have sent to America and Israel, and they said that you have to pay us back. And to United Nations they have sent that so many people have died. They have given some estimation of 7 to 800 people, and in that there are 130 to 200 small children. There are children, they also have died. So all these children were naturally with their parents, but their parents could not protect them when there was like missiles and bombs were shot on them. So in this way, yes, the parents are an instrument to give birth to a child, but ultimately it is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then it is a manifestation of Supreme Personality of God and the spiritual master. Jibero nistaro lagi nando shuto hori bhuvane prakashon guru rupo dhori. So Krishna manifests himself as Supreme Personality of Godhead to shower his mercy. So Sukdev Goswami was not only the son of Vyasadeva, but he was also disciple of Vyasadeva, whom Vyasadeva taught the essence. And then Sukdev Goswami is saying, I worship that spiritual master of mine who is so glorious, right? So in that way, he is very beautifully worshipping his spiritual master. So one very important thing which we can know here, that what is the mood of a self-realized person? The mood of a self-realized person is compassion, right? Compassion. A self-realized person or a good devotee is always compassionate on others. Like we can see, Srila Prabhupada was so compassionate. Even when he saw that people are suffering around him, he was like shedding tears. And he was like a father. He was like a grandfather. He was spiritual master. He was like everything. Like I was hearing a pastime when one devotee, he and his wife came to Srila Prabhupada to show him their child who has just taken birth. And just like a compassionate grandfather, Prabhupada gave some money to this devotee and told him, it was in Mayapur. Prabhupada told him, go in Navadvip and get small silver bangles for your son. Right? And that way he gifted. Right? And then we see many pastimes like this when his Guru Puja was happening. One time Radhanath Maharaj was mentioning Prabhupada's Guru Puja was happening. So many devotees were jumping and saying Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. But in that situation also Prabhupada saw that one devotee, he was like not able to jump, he had got something in his feet. So he called him and asked, what happened to you? And then Prabhupada asked him, go and check with a doctor. And they arranged for everything. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada showed so much of compassion, right? He did not care for himself. Like many times we hear in Vrindavan, um, this Goswami, I'm forgetting his name, who was when he was in Radha Damodar temple, he recalls that his prasad was kept outside his home, and most of the days he would not take prasad. He would hardly take once in a day, or maybe that not even once in a day. So Prabhupada, in his poverty-stricken condition, also he was thinking how to give Krishna consciousness to others. He was concerned about others, how it can be provided to others. He did not make ISKCON to make money for himself. He did not make ISKCON to have a comfortable living. Like we know this when Srila Prabhupada went to inaugurate ISKCON Bhuvaneshwar temple, not inaugurate, sorry, Bhumi Pujan. Then Prabhupada had many beautiful quarters throughout the whole world. Like till now, when we go to ISKCON Vrindavan, we see such a beautiful quarter. So in that way, there are many, many beautiful temples where Prabhupada has beautiful quarters, like Los Angeles and New Vrindavan, so many beautiful places. So considering this, Gaur Govinda Maharaj made an arrangement for Srila Prabhupada to stay in this circuit house nearby, a room he got booked over there. But Prabhupada said, no, I'll stay in this land only where you are staying, in that one jhopri, in that one kutir where Gaur Govinda Maharaj was staying. And Prabhupada said, make a partition with a chadar, and I'll stay on one side, you can stay on the other side. So in this way, Prabhupada said he was so detached. He was only concerned about others. He was only giving. Even on the verge of his death, of leaving his body, Prabhupada was, speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. He was still concerned about devotees. Like Guru Maharaj was recalling that in that stage when Prabhupada was hardly eating anything, Srila Prabhupada asked Guru Maharaj that what are devotees eating? How are their prasad? And when the prasad was here and there, Prabhupada called the kitchen in charge. At that time, the kitchen in charge of ISKCON Vrindavan was B.V. Govinda Maharaj. His name was Ayodhyapati Prabhu. So he called him and he asked why prasad is like this and this, and told him. So Prabhupada was like so compassionate. So there are two phases of devotional life in case of a pure devotee. One is relishment and the other is seva. Because they are relishing so much within their heart, that is the reason they are willing to give this to others. And with the slightest interaction with a pure devotee in that way, one gets Krishna consciousness. So that is the result of their relishment. And because they are relishing what they have got, that is the reason they goes out of their way to give. Like many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, many good devotees, like many devotees, they sign the email or letter or they end the message with this, yours in the service of Srila Prabhupada, right? So when I first time saw my Guru Maharaj writing like this in one of the email, yours in the service of Srila Prabhupada, so it was like I just kept reading those few words. It was like very beautiful for me. So I like with my meager understanding, I was trying to make out that Guru Maharaj belongs to Srila Prabhupada, but now because of Srila Prabhupada, he's available for me, but he he's like he does not owe anything to me, right? He owes everything from Srila Prabhupada. So this is the ideal mood of compassion, that we give compassion not to get something, not to reap the result, but it is out of gratitude towards my superior, who out of his causeless compassion has given himself, right? And with that mood of dedication, one can the essence is revealed. Like here Sukdev Goswami was saying the saram, sorry, Sutta Goswami was saying the saram. So this sar is revealed. So it is not sought for, rather it's begged for. It cannot be digged out, like give me the sar, give me the sar, you have to give me the sar. So it is not like that, it is obtained, right? So another very important point which I considered, that yes, so this Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural commentary to Vedanta Sutra which Prabhupada wrote. And Prabhupada then said, in this material world even Brahmaji is not like happy. So yesterday I was hearing a lecture, and in that lecture one very beautiful verse came up. It was like Uddhavji, in his appreciation for the gopis, he is saying this verse. So this is 10th canto, 47th chapter, 58th verse. So Sukdev Goswami, sorry, Uddhavji is saying, Etah param tanubhrita bhuvi gopavadho Govinda eva nikhilatmani rudha bhava Vanchanti yad bhavabhyamunaya bhayam cha Kim brahma janma ananta katha rasaya. So Uddhavji is saying that among all the persons on earth, these cowherd women, these gopis alone have actually perfected their embodied lives. So there are many, many embodied lives, but Uddhavji is saying this gopi are have perfected. And it was a lecture by Radha Govind Maharaj. Maharaj was very beautifully saying that उद्धव जी ऐसा नहीं थे जो एक जगह में बैठे हुए थे, वो हर जगह घूम रहे थे, वो बैठ बैठ के नहीं बोल रहे थे, वो घूम के बोले थे. So then Maharaj was saying that Uddhav ji went to Swargaloka, has seen many sadhus, many places, many planets, and then he is concluding, seeing everyone, that gopis have perfected their lives. Why? Because they have achieved this Rura Bhava, that is condensed love for Krishna. Banchanti eva yad bhava bhyo munayo vayamcha. Even great sages do not get that. Even great sages are hankering for that what they have got. So they may look very ordinary. Like when we go to Shridham Mayapur, we see these gopis. They might look like doll, one is like this, one is like that, but then they are not ordinary. They are so exceptional. Like after the disappearance of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and many devotees were glorifying him. And Revati Raman Prabhu, the temple president of this ISKCON Tirupati, he was saying that when Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he went to Tirupati, he was not doing Mangala Arati. He was not worshipping in Mangala Arati. And Maharaj is famous for worshipping Lord in Mangala Arati. Wherever, in whichever temple he is, he worships Lord during Mangala Arati. So Revati Raman Prabhu asked Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Maharaj, why are you not offering Mangala Arati? Then Maharaj said, no, I'm afraid. Gopis are there. Gopis are there. Then Prabhuji said, but you go and do Mangala Arati in Mayapur. Then Maharaj said, you will never see me offering Mangala Arati to Radha Madhav. I am offering Mangala Arati to Panchatattva. So why? Because gopis are there. So these gopis are exceptional personalities, exceptional personalities. Why? Because amongst all the embodied beings, they alone have got this Ruda Bhava, Nikhilatmani Ruda Bhava, this intense love for Krishna. So then, if one do not get that, if like Uddhavji is saying, so Kim Brahma Janmabhir, Ananta Katha Rasayo. So how they have got? They have got this by discussing about Krishna. And they are making Uddhavji also drink this nectar. So it was like this, Uddhavji was like for months together, he stayed in Vrindavan and he was going in different places and he was asking the gopis, what Leela Krishna did here? So then the gopis, oh, Krishna did here, Dan Leela. Krishna did this pastime over there, that pastime over there. So in this way, gopis were telling many, many pastime. And after telling the pastime, they were asking Uddhav, now you elaborate this. So Uddhav was elaborating. There was a constant exchange of, this kind of melos. And then Uddhavji is saying, so if this is not obtained, then what is the use of getting the birth of even Brahmaji or great Brahmanas? So why Brahmaji is mentioned? So Radhagovind Maharaj was telling that Brahmaji has created many, many living entities. Like Brahmaji has created Brahmanas, Vaishnavas. At the same time, Brahmaji has created the bodies of Mlechas, Yavanas, who are cow eaters, who are dog eaters. No, he has created lowest of the lowest and highest of the highest. So even his creation only, there are, somebody is lowest, somebody is high, somebody is completely averse to devotional life, somebody has great taste. So why this has happened? Because Brahmaji was fluctuating in his consciousness. And that is what we can see in Srimad Bhagavatam during creation, that Brahmaji gave up that consciousness. Many times this comes. And with that, when Brahmaji gave up that consciousness, this demons came, this Rakshasas came, these beings came, that beings came. So Brahmaji was constantly fluctuating. But Uddhav, he came here and saw that gopis were not fluctuating. They were so steady. So steadiness in devotional service is a great is the greatest thing which one can achieve, and this is what Suta Goswami is saying about Sukdev Goswami, that he is steady in devotional service. Why? Because he's got the essence, and that is the reason his life, like Prabhupada elucidated later, that it is in the purport Prabhupada says that Brahma's life is also not like that. Of course, we are not talking about that Brahma who is our Parampara Acharya. He is a pure devotee. But in general case, we are saying this life of Brahma so that we can understand that even powerful personalities in this world, it is not a guarantee that they will get Krishna consciousness. So, these are some thoughts which I could find from the purport and thought of sharing. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि हरे कृष्ण।